Welcome back to Riella's Army of Dolls, where I talk all things fashion doll. Now, if you've been following my channel, you probably remember that several months ago when I was over in Europe, I got hold of this fabulous Drusilla by Ruby Red Toys, who is a collaboration with Wixana's Dollhouse. I was really incredibly impressed by this doll. She lived up to everything I was expecting, and probably, to be honest, a little bit more. She is just so beautiful. I still just think about all those different features and love nearly everything about this doll. If you haven't watched it yet, I will put a link to the video so you can go and watch the review about her. But one of the reasons why I bought Drusilla was because at the time I had just ordered Brave Astrid from Ruby Red Toys, who was at that time the newest collaboration with Wixana's Dollhouse. I was just blown away when I saw the photos of Astrid. She has a wonderful face sculpt, and the combination of the Viking styling with a modern fashion doll is just not quite unique. I have seen it before. There are a couple of Deja Vu dolls from Robert Tonner who also combine that Viking style, and you know what? I would love to get hold of them too. They are some of my favorites who I don't have. So this doll combined, some of that historical joy that I find, as I do love history, with dolls, and just made it adorable, and I've never seen that before. Now, she did arrive several months ago, and because I was still away, I wasn't able to open her. Since getting back, I've been going through all of the different items that have arrived, and it is finally Astrid's turn to come out of her box, and I am so excited to see if she lives up to what I saw in those publicity photos. Astrid's box is very similar to the box that Drusilla came in, and it has a sticker on the front that shows who the doll is. The first thing I notice when I look at the image on the sticker is that Astrid's eyes are this really bright, almost neon blue color. It is really not the color that I got the impression of when I looked at her pictures online. So I'm hoping, well, I guess I'm probably hoping that they're actually the darker blue from the photos I saw online. Or that, it doesn't look quite as strong, quite as bright as in this picture, because it just really stands out to me. It notes on the front that this is a collaboration with Wixana's Dollhouse. Astrid has paper to protect her, and this little box here that keeps her head and her face safe. She has a card with the artwork for the doll, and yeah, it just reminds me of why I loved this design. Everything about this doll just screams me. The outfits and accessories are wrapped in white tissue paper. We have the wig cap sticker here to help her wig stay on, and then Astrid herself is in the box couched under that card. It's nice and easy to get her out. Of course, her wig doesn't stay on because we need that wig cap for it. Now, she's a paler skin tone than Drusilla. It's still got a richness to it, which I think is really pretty, and we can see her face here. I'm not getting the impression of those virulent blue eyes from the photo, so far I'm liking what I see. The tattoos on the face, just fabulous. I absolutely love that. It's so unique and so different, and it does remind me of Drusilla in that way, who has the gold face makeup. With the two of them side by side here, it is pretty easy to see why I was drawn to both of these dolls. Although they are, quite different in terms of their aesthetics, we've got a lot of the same ideas coming through. So it's definitely that really strong fantasy element. Even the eye colors, we've got that real richness to them. And of course, the face paint that just sets them apart. This is what made them so unique to me. And actually, when I first ordered Astrid, I got an email back from Ruby Red saying they no longer had any more of the tattooed Astrids, and would I be happy to exchange for the simple face paint Astrid? And I said no, I'm happy to wait, because that was, absolute key for me to what made this doll so special. Her wig is in the box, and again, another one of the things that really makes this doll stand out is the details to the wig. And again, it's one of the things that I loved about Drusilla too. So perhaps one of the features that Wixana's Dollhouse puts in. We've just got these really cool features. So she's got like a fishtail braid here that forms into two plaits and a ponytail. We've got the forehead braid as well, and it's a really beautiful blonde. It really makes me think of Vikings or Valkyries, and yeah, I just love that about it. So slotting it onto her head, we may need the wig tape to hold it in place, but at this point she's already looking fabulous. And having a look at her face, another reason I was drawn to this doll is that she has such a different face sculpt from Drusilla. This is the Diana Effner sculpted Daisy sculpt, and it's got this really beautiful childlike innocence to it that I think is wonderful combined with the Viking theme, because you know they're just those sort of two eras, these two ideas that clash, and so they just make for something that is super unique. The wig is, I am struggling a little bit to keep it on. She may need to have the wig tape. I generally prefer to have dolls without the wig tape because, you know, it can, you know, stain and leave stickiness on their head, but we'll see. I might put it on. But yeah, the sculpt is beautiful, and it doesn't have that, although I like the smiling sculpt of most of the ruby red dolls, including Drusilla. A lot of the sculpts have this big smile. Although I like that, I also think that, you know, giving her no smile adds this sort of whimsical nature to it. You know, that, as I said, that real childlike innocence combined with it. So Astrid's just going to sit and watch now while I unpack all of her accessories from the box. And what do we have? So we've got some leather straps here. This is the gold circlet that I think in the photos is shown sort of sitting underneath her hair ribbon piece. Already showed the wig tape. Then we've got the little packages. It's very nicely done with the white paper. These have her superb boots with, you know, the faux leather, nice sole, zip backs, and the fur feature around the top. That is just, yeah, really, it's so over the top that it is just awesome, and they are going to look amazing. I love this idea because it's so not feminine, and yet it just works somehow. In the bigger pocket, this is obviously going to be her clothing. So we have a white lace-up front tunic, the red cape with fur collar, and these, you know, chain and bead feature. There's a little clip there that's going to hopefully make it nice and easy to dress. We've got the pants and the overskirt, and also her sort of waist. I don't know what to call it. It's not exactly a belt, but yeah, her waist feature, not a corset either. I really like this outfit. I wasn't completely sure in the pictures. I kind of wanted the skirt to be longer, but you know, we also want to see the boots. So I guess I'll just put it on and, you know, kind of decide whether I love it or not. I think there are features about it that are brilliant, but there are also things that I don't necessarily like as much. So I'm going to put it on her and make that decision. First of all, I'm very pleased to say that all dressed up and styled, those eyes really do not have that virulent blue sheen that the photo on the box showed. I was a little worried about that because it really seemed to take over from her other ideas. And you know what? After dressing this doll, I am genuinely blown away. And I probably said something similar when I dressed Drusilla and showed that video as well, because I'm really, of dolls coming out at the moment, this kind of level of attention to detail is practically unheard of in a fantasy theme, at least. You know, there are some amazing Integrity Toys dolls with really fabulous attention to detail, but they're just not like this. This just, really captures the essence of, fantasy. This is obviously the Viking era, but Drusilla was a different one again, and I just love it. I really can't get over looking at this girl's face. It is just amazing, especially with the tattoos, but even without, I think she would be a lovely doll when you put everything together. As I was dressing her, I kept thinking, this next piece of clothing, oh, it's going to look a bit weird when I put it on. It's just a little bit too much. And then I put on the next piece and I was like, wow, it's all coming together. The only one where I felt maybe she didn't need it was the cape, that in some ways I thought she actually looked better before she put the cape on, like this. And now we can see all the other features. So there are some really cool things about this outfit. The puffy sleeves on the tunic just give it, that extra pop. I love how its skirt is flared and it comes out from the sides of the overskirt as well. It looks fabulous. I was a little dubious about that, but then I put it on and I was like, yeah, that really works. The boots with the fur top are maybe a tiny bit too much. I do like them on their own, but I feel like maybe the fur just the way that it meets the skirt there is a little bit, I don't know, a little bit odd, but I still think that they're adorable and they look fantastic on her. So I can forgive the fact that maybe they're just a little bit odd. For dressing, everything was pretty easy to get on, and I'm really pleased that all of the clothing has snaps and not Velcro, because the quality there is just definitely a lot higher. The only thing I would say is I wish they had made the leather belt just a tiny bit longer. If you have a look at the amount that is poking out from the buckle, it is genuinely like 2 millimeters or something. I had to work hard to get it through, and there are no instructions for tying that belt. And although it wasn't particularly difficult to do, when you got to the end, if it wasn't perfect, there just was no room, no margin for error whatsoever. The circlet, I think, looks great with the wig. Gives a little bit of the idea of a Viking talk or something like that, but still with the beautiful doll feel to it. And the colour really goes with her blonde hair. So I think that all in all, this is just such an amazing package. And I think I mentioned last time I looked at a ruby red doll, the sort of lack of posability. But these are not dolls that you need to pose an enormous amount. I think that the posability they have is quite good. They spread their legs, their arms and knees bend, of course. Their wrists and ankles don't, but I don't think that is super important. To me, the biggest feature for posability is whether or not a doll can spread its legs, because a lot of them can only move their legs back and forward, and these dolls can. And so, to be honest, I think that's fine. So I love these dolls so much. I'm definitely going to be on the lookout for more collaborations with Wixana's Dollhouse. There are a couple I have missed and I regret that now, because just seeing them in person, they are even more adorable than in the photos. These are some of my absolute favorites in my collection. There's probably not really any point in picking a favorite between the two. They are both amazing dolls, but if I had to choose just one, I think it would be Astrid. The reason being just that Viking theme appeals to me so much. It is fantastic, but also her face sculpt I just find even more appealing. They are both incredibly beautiful. I love the styling. I love what Wixana has done with these, but I love Astrid even more. Astrid is such a wonderful doll. She has really won me over. And I mean, I was expecting to love her because I looked at those publicity photos when she came out around a year ago, and I was blown away by the detail and the creativity in the design, and also just, that taking ideas from historical elements and combining them with this fun and fashionable doll. I just thought, wow, you know, fabulous. And she is all of that. I just absolutely love this doll. I think she's not just a beautiful doll, she's actually one of my absolute favorites who I own. And, you know, I own a lot of dolls, so that is really saying something. I'm not usually as excited by child dolls as by adult dolls, but you know, when you combine them with these fantasy fun themes, that just all goes out the window. You can give me, you know, any type of doll and make it beautiful, make it fantastic, and you know, that's exactly what it is going to be. They are a little bit difficult to display alongside some of the larger adult dolls, and I think maybe they're going to display better with my 18-inch playstyle dolls. So like Magic Attic dolls and American Girl, I think these are going to be wonderful as like a little sister to them. Astrid cost me $200, and at the time there was a bit of a promo that included international shipping, and you know what, I think that's pretty reasonable. The amount of detail in this doll and all the features that she has, I think that that cost is totally justified. Astrid and Drusilla are just fabulous, and I'm sure they will not be the last ruby red special edition dolls that I will be buying. If you'd like to see more of my doll reviews and stories, then please do make sure to be subscribed to my channel.